Guys, today I'm going to show you the recipe that I've been working on, which is a high protein waffle and a high protein pancake recipe. So they are exactly the same ingredients except for one thing. So the waffles use only baking soda, whereas the pancakes use baking soda and baking powder. Are these higher in protein than your traditional waffles and pancakes? But they also are you use sourdough discard for them. I'm going to start by making our pancake batter. So first we need a cup of sourdough discard. I'm going to add a cup of soy milk. You can use whatever plant milk you like. I just am using soy milk because protein. To this we're also going to add a third cup of water. I just used the empty container of the soy milk to get some water in it. Then we're going to add a quarter cup of applesauce to that. We're going to add a tablespoon of lemon juice and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. All right, so that's it for the wet ingredients. We're going to work on the dry. First, we're going to add a half a cup of all-purpose flour. Then we're doing a half a cup of vital wheat gluten. A scoop of protein powder. I'm using the Be Amazing IHOP double blueberry pancakes. It is basically 37 grams for a scoop. We're using one scoop just in case you don't have this one or you don't like this one. So you really want to do the protein powder by weight. Otherwise it might mess up the recipe. All right, we add in our scoop of protein powder. Then we're going to add a tablespoon of a granulated sugar. I'm using stevia. You can use whatever one you like. And then a half a teaspoon of salt. And then we're adding a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now this is the point where you need to decide if you're going to make waffles or pancakes, because that's going to define what the next ingredients are. We're doing the pancakes first, so we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We're going to want to whisk these dry ingredients together, and then after it's well incorporated, then we will mix in our wet. All right, now we're just going to dump in our wet ingredients and whisk that together. You don't want to over mix it. You just want to mix it until there is no more dry clumps in there. All right, and that looks perfect. So at this point, I would start preheating a griddle. If you have a griddle, I'm going to be using a griddle. You can also do these in a skillet. And we will be using like a small amount of spray oil. Other than that, this recipe is oil-free. In the meantime, I'm going to start doing my waffle mixture. All right, same as before. We're going to start with the soy milk this time. Do a cup of soy milk or whatever plant milk you prefer. Just keep in mind, it might change the protein content of the recipe. Perfect. We're going to add our 1/4 cup of applesauce, our teaspoon of vanilla extract, our tablespoon of lemon juice, and then we're going to add our cup of starter discard as well. And moving on to our dry ingredients, it is literally the same as the pancakes. We're to the point where we need to add either baking soda only or baking soda and baking powder. So we've got the half a cup of flour, the half a cup of vital wheat gluten. We have the tablespoon of stevia, the half a teaspoon of salt, and the teaspoon of cinnamon, or half a teaspoon of cinnamon, I should say, and the protein powder. So now we are going to add 1 teaspoon of baking soda. All right, same. We're going to whisk this together and mix in our wet. Also, I forgot to mention the 1/3 cup of water also. Same thing as last time. You don't want to over mix this. Just make sure you don't have any flour pockets in there. Now, there is one more ingredient that I need to add to each of these batters, but it is a little bit more niche. So if you do not have this, that is okay. You could probably use an egg replacer, maybe flax egg or the Bob's Red Mill egg replacer, but I like this because of the extra protein content. We're using 2 tablespoons of the animal-free egg white powder to these. So if you don't have that or you don't want to use that, you can use those other egg substitutes. Just keep in mind, it will change the protein content. And we're adding 2 tablespoons to each of those. And then whisk it all in there. All right, so you're gonna wanna preheat your waffle maker. Whatever kind you wanna use is fine. I'm using this Belgian style waffle maker. So keep that in mind. At the end, I'll tell you how much there is per serving, and there's gonna be 5 waffles. Generally speaking, it should be about 5 waffles if they're this size. And the information, the nutritional information I'm going to give you is for 5 waffles. So, you know, you might have to math if yours is smaller or bigger. So for both my griddle and my waffle iron, I usually preheat it at the maximum setting. And then I will put on my oil right before I apply the batter. Then I will adjust temperature as needed if I feel like it's getting too brown. Typically, though, I cook it on max the whole time. I might turn down the pancakes slightly, but that'd be it. With you, we're going to turn you up to max. All right, my griddle is warm, so I'm going to be using a spray oil. Like I said, I'm using an avocado spray oil. You can use whatever spray oil you would like. I like using the griddle just because I can get so many done at a time versus like a skillet. So I use this scoop right here. I'm gonna guess it's about 1/4 to 1/3 cup of batter. Basically, we're going for 12 pancakes here. That's what we should be getting. So I take a scoop of the batter and I just plop her on there. And I'm going to do that until my griddle is basically full. Now for our waffle iron that's preheated, we're also going to just spray it with a little bit of avocado oil. I found that I don't have to keep spraying it, really, but if you feel the need to do so, you can. Now for the waffles, you want to take a lot more care with your measurements because otherwise you will have some spillage out the sides, and then that's just wasted product. So we're doing a 1/2 cup of scoop to start here, and we're gonna just kind of pour it in the middle and let it run out to the sides. That's almost perfect. I'm basically looking for it to start touching that outer corner. It will expand as it cooks. There we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. We don't want the whole thing filled out, but just parts of it start doing it. So I'd say about 3/4 a cup of batter. And then we're just going to close it and let her cook for a little bit. After a few minutes, we will flip it upside down because mine's Belgian style waffle maker. Back to the pancakes. We're going to flip one. Take a look at that beauty. Oh my goodness. It's only been like a minute, 2 minutes tops. And all of these babies are ready to flip. It's hard to do this when you're trying to record at the same time. But so far so good. I'm getting a little mess on the other pancake, but it's fine. But yeah, look at those bad boys. This should make 12, but it actually might make a little bit more. I might have not put as much batter as I did last time, but last time I did it, it was exactly 12, so. To the batters that I made today, you could also add some mix-ins. You could add in some chocolate chips. I added in blueberries last time, and you can change the flavor of your pancakes just by changing the protein powder that you use. The protein powder is giving it some protein, but mostly I'm using it for flavor. The Vital Wheat gluten is doing most of the heavy lifting for the protein content. All right, and then we flip them and make sure they're cooked all the way on the bottom. They look beautiful. So obviously you can eat these right away. I usually am doing this for meal prep. I'm making them today because my daughter wanted pancakes and she had these a lot when I was doing my recipe testing, and she loves them. It's like her new favorite recipe. So basically, she's going to eat some, and then the rest are going to become freezer pancakes. So what I do is I cool them on a cooling rack. They are going to get softer as they cool regardless, so it doesn't really matter. But I put them on a cooling rack, just to help them not get soggy while they cool down. But you can do it however you would like. I just wouldn't recommend putting them in a bag and freezing them right away. I'm going to turn the temperature down slightly on the pancakes. We'll turn it down to 350. All right, now we're gonna flip our waffle around and let it cook for a little bit on this side. And our waffle is done. We could have filled it just slightly more. That's the part that it sucks about making waffles, is like I like it to be a full waffle. And sometimes I either overestimate or underestimate how much to put in there. But yes, these are my favorite. I love a good waffle, and these are so crispy and light and fluffy. Same thing as the pancakes. We're going to put it on the cooling rack and let it cool off. Now basically we're just going to repeat with the pancake and waffle batter until everything is done. And when I made the recipe this time, it made 15 pancakes, which is interesting. I don't know why that is. It might be because maybe I didn't let the batter sit as long as I normally do. My nutrition information is going to be for 12 pancakes. So each pancake, if you make 12 pancakes out of this recipe, each pancake is 100 calories and 8 grams of protein, guys. That is wild. And 1 gram of fiber, if that matters to you. But I know some people are really caring about their fiber right now. But yes, the pancakes are delicious. I mean, my daughter loves them, and she's picky. The waffles are done, and it did make 5 nice big waffles. So each one of these waffles is 240 calories, 21 grams of protein, and 3 grams of fiber. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. It is one of our new favorites in the household, so give this one a try. It's surprisingly easy. I know it seems like a lot of ingredients, but they all play a really good role in making these a really nice high protein pancake and waffle recipe while also still having a really nice texture. Enjoy!